want some mac and cheese.
Same. We should get some mac and cheese.
It's just so cheesy.
Isn't that sort of the point?
I guess so. Where's Abby? We should really start.
Sorry, Mike, guys.
It's okay. Why is everybody always late to these things?
I was making mac and cheese.
Okay, mac and cheese aside, we should get started.
Okay, so how do Romeo and Juliet relate to the question of how do teenage romances cause teens to put themselves and their relationships at risk?
I think that we should break it down into categories first in order to answer the question correctly.
Okay, so Romeo and Juliet were affected mentally by the strong bond that they had.
But in reality, they only met a few days prior. How could they have such a strong bond already?
Adding on to what you said, they based their decisions on the lust of a new relationship rather than the love that they thought they had.
Or rather, the love they didn't have. It clouded their judgment. I mean, wasn't loyalty to their families like the most important thing in the story? They gave that up the second they saw someone that they liked.
Well, what if it was true love?
But he was 17 and she was only 12, and they met that night when they locked eyes through a fish tank.
Oh,
Abby, that was in the movie, not the play.
Oh, yeah. But you still get the point.
Yeah.
Moving on. I think that parental validation had an effect on Romeo and Juliet because of the loyalties and the obligations they are expected to uphold.
I agree. I mean, they did have to keep their whole relationship a secret from their feuding families.
And then there's the Paris situation.
Yeah, Juliet's parents totally disregarded her feelings when she said she didn't want to marry Paris. Like, in the text, let me find it. Her dad says, "I tell thee what, get thee to church of Thursday, or never after look me in the face. Speak not, reply not, do not answer me." He basically says he'll disown his own daughter if she doesn't live up to the expectation of marrying Paris.
Yeah, and you can see in the beginning, she's very dependent on her parents' validation, but as the story progresses, she begins not to care so much about her parents' expectations, rather Romeo's expectations.
And in some cases, that lack of parental validation can lead to some pretty harmful things, such as drugs, alcohol, and even in extreme situations, self-harm.
Still, Romeo and Juliet is the ultimate love story. Besides them dying at the end. But they died for each other, so I guess it's still romantic.
It's only the ultimate love story because people love tragedy, and technically, they didn't set out to die together. It just kind of happened that way.
Okay, well, let's get back to the question. How did teenage romances cause teens to put themselves and their relationships at risk?
Well, as we can see in Romeo and Juliet, teenage romance can cause teens to distance themselves from their parents.
And it can impact their mental health if their relationship isn't healthy, which can cause a whole lot of death.
That's a little dark, but in all seriousness, teenage romances have many dangerous effects on them, including rebellion, mental health, or broken loyalties.
Yeah, cool. So can we go get some mac and cheese now?
Yeah.